Hello and welcome. You tune into Buy Now, Sell Now with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me is Ashesha. And in the next 1 hour, we'll take you through all your queries. We'll get your stock queries answered by our experts on the technical front and on the fundamental side. But before we get started with all your queries, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up. Before that, the big news, the big upside surprise that RBI governor gave us, in the form of a jumbo cut of 50 basis points. Lastly, the street was expecting a 25 bips cut, but now that has been increased to 50 basis points, and of course a CRR cut of 100 basis points. And a big news coming in for all the home buyers, because it eases the pressure of loans and eases the EMIs going ahead. And we will see and get details of how much of an impact will it have. But it is nonetheless a great news for the markets as well and for the economy as well. And on the back of that, we do see a jump coming in as far as market is concerned. We see Nifty soaring above 24,950 levels. Remember, for the few consecutive sessions, we have been stuck in a range. Now we have managed to break past that range on the Nifty. We have managed to break past the 24,800 levels. We are comfortably above 24,950 right now. Nifty Bank ditto, of course. Nifty Banks, the home loan financiers, the real estate sector, the primary beneficiary, the rate sensitive sectors that are likely to be the biggest beneficiary of this have seen a sharp uptick coming in. Nifty Bank, a sharp up move coming in. It in fact, from the day's lows, it's ticked up almost 1.5%, 875 points jump from the day's lows. It's trading with gains of 1.4% right now. 56,566 is where Nifty Bank is perched at. Talking about the sectors, Nifty Realty, needless to say, is the top sectoral gainer right now, trading with gains of almost 3%. We have a couple of names that have really picked up, like Godrej Properties, DLF, Oberoi Realty. These are all trading with gains of 4.5+% in trade. Besides that, we have the financial services also that are in focus today. Chola Finance, SBI Cards, Bajaj Finance, Shriram Finance, HDFC, AMC, that are all trading with the gains of more than 4% right now. And of course, from the banking pack, we have IDFC First, Axis, HDFC that are all trading with gains of 2+%. So a good day of markets coming in on the back of this big upside surprise, Ashesha, that the RBI governor has given us.
Well, yes, pro-growth stance which was adopted by RBI governor, and we are clearly seeing the impact on the markets. Nifty Bank, in fact, is outperforming in trade today. But this is a show where we answer all your stock specific queries, so keep sending them to us. We have a WhatsApp number which will flash for you on your screens. You can send your query, mention the name of the company or the stock that you're holding, your time horizon, your purchase price, and we'll try to answer as many as we can over the course of the next 1 hour. And to discuss exactly that, we have Ajit Mishra, SVP Research, Religare Broking, and Kunal Botra here with us. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. But Kunal, let me come to you, and before we take queries, let's take a sense of where the market is headed, because as Ankita was mentioning, what a day it has turned out to be thanks to RBI governor's action. Nifty Bank, in fact, is well above that 56,500 mark as we speak, up 800 points on the index level, both for Nifty and Bank Nifty. What will your view be from here on?
You can't have asked for more. I think this is the best, boost in terms of what the markets have gotten in terms of RBI, both in terms of the rate cuts as well as the CR cut. So I think that's adding, of course, to the positive sentiment for the markets. And finally, I think we can say that the markets have now come out of a major consolidative band, and we've been grinding into this band for the last 3 weeks or more than that. So I think this could probably be a very strong catalyst for the markets in the near term. This could also boost up the sentiments for a lot of individual sectors, like for example the NBFC pocket, the HFCs, even many of the banking names which have been actually underperforming for quite some time. Realty could probably get a leg up further from current levels. So there are a lot of positives to look out for after such kind of a market move.
All right, then on that note, on a big positive note, let's get started with all the questions. Viewers, you can start sending in your question on the number that is flashing on top of your screen. Share us your stock query, your buying price, and your holding period and your question, and we'll get them answered by our experts. So let's get going with all the stocks that are in focus today. First up, this is a question by Debraj, who's writing in from Bangalore. He has 300 stocks of Trent bought in 2021 at 750 rupees. Now he wants to know if he should keep holding that stock. It has had a good run so far. Kunal, let me come to you about this one. Tell us about Trent. We did see that big correction coming in Trent post its results, but yesterday we had a very positive note coming out on Trent, a couple of brokerage notes that came out. On the back of that, we did see Trent moving up, but on the charts, how does Trent look to you, say from a 1 or 2 years perspective?
See, it starts to look attractive at current levels, and especially with the fact that gap down which had happened for Trend post the results, I think a month and a half out back. I think that gap down seems to be now almost getting completely absorbed by the move which the stock has seen post that. So I believe that that's a very strong indicator that we are looking at a potential revival into the stock price. But then I think just about wait for maybe another few more trading sessions. I think above 5750, 5800 mark, once the stock confirms a weekly closing. Above that, I think we could be a lot more in a much more higher probability zone that the stock may start to move up higher significantly. So you can start nibbling at current levels, but more confidence could start to brew once the stock closes on a weekly basis above 5800 plus mark.
So 5800, that's the level to watch out for as far as Trent is concerned. But let's also shift focus to a mining counter than Vidanta. And we have Murli, who has written to us from Bangalore. He's holding about 65 shares of Vidanta at a purchase price of 447 rupees per share. He says he has bought them with a short-term time frame. Should he continue holding on to his position or exit? That's the question that he's asking. Ajit, what will your view be on Vidanta?
Yeah, good morning, Ashisha. So, Ashisha, we are seeing mixed trend within the metal space. So, if you see that stock like Zinc, Copper, Tata Steel, say they all are doing well, while Vidanta is sitting on the sidelines after this initial, recovery and sustaining above its major averages. It seems like a pause or a consolidation to me. Since he has bought it, very close to the current levels, I would recommend him to look to a switch to Copper or Zinc in case if he is planning a very short-term trade, means for a week or 10 days. Because until we break 460 mark decisively, I doubt that we can see any meaningful up move in Vedanta in the near future.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Vedanta. But with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll get all your questions answered on the other side of the break. So stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now, where we are getting all your stock queries answered by our experts. You can send in your queries on the number that's flashing on top of your screen with your stock question, the buying price and the holding period, and we'll get them answered by our experts. Let's resume then. Kunal, I'll come to you. This is Krish who's writing in. He wants to know, he's holding Oberoi Realty 100 shares at the buying price of 1,825. He wants to know your view in the next 1 year. I mean, what a day to be asking about the realty sector. You know, the big boost that is coming in terms of the CRR cut, it's a big cheer for loan borrowers. It will ease off. The EMIs will come down substantially. Tell us on the charts now, how does Oberoi Realty look to you?
Yeah, I think, it's a good day to see many of these real estate stocks actually showing signs of a breakout. And even Oberoi Realty, I think after almost like 5 or 6 months, the stock has come back above its 200 DMA. These kind of moves generally, they do sustain and, maybe not immediately you might see a follow-through up move. But then I think in a span of the next 1 to 3 months, you should expect that many of these stocks would revive by, at least another, 5 to 10% further from current levels. So if you have that kind of a time frame, it's a good time to hold on to the stock or even buy.
Okay, so hold on to the position or buy. That's the word coming in on Oberoi Realty, and several of these real estate stocks in any case are buzzing in trade today after Reserve Bank of India's action. But we have Karishma who has written to us from Delhi. She says she wants to buy Exide Industries and she wants to ask a technical view on this particular stock. Ajit, what will your view be on Exide?
So, Ashisha, it's been almost nearly a year now that the stock has been witnessing correction from 600 to 300, 320 zone. It spent roughly around 3.5 months now in a very tight range, currently struggling below the major averages. So probably, yes, it's a good time to look for fresh buying, considering that we are set for the breakout, the kind of price action plus the volume is indicating that bears are completely exhausted. And once we cross this hurdle at 400 mark, the long-term average, probably we can see the next leg of the momentum or probably a reversal also in the stock. So yes, she can consider going long at current levels with 380 as a closing stop loss and 440 as a position target.
All right, so that's excited on the charts. But coming to the next query, Kunal, I'll come to you. This is Smita Vikram, who's writing from Bangalore. She's bought 500 shares of IRFC at a buying price of 143 rupees. Now she wants to know the medium-term view, and she wants you to suggest a target. Now, interestingly, Kunal, all these railway counters have been doing well in the past few sessions. They've done pretty well. They were also the leaders in the previous rally that we have seen. But going ahead, do you see IRFC, or for that matter, give us a sense of how the railway sector is likely to pan out now?
Yeah, I'll be very bullish on this sector, and not just because of the way these stocks have run up over the last 1 or 2 weeks, but overall also I think we've seen a phase where the markets are going into a stage-by-stage revival for each of the sectors which have been doing well in 2023-24, and then there was a phase where these stocks corrected by 40-50%. So I think that stage revival could probably happen to the railway stocks also pretty soon. I sense that many of these names like IRCON, RVNL, IRFC, etc. I think they should at least come back towards another 15 to 20% jump in the next say 3 to 6 months broadly. It could probably happen much earlier also if the market circumstances and scenarios they change on a much more bullish and a much more optimistic side. But then I would probably believe that these stocks are ripe for a very strong up move. I would suggest to hold on to the stock if you've already bought, or even buy at current levels.
Okay, so hold on to the position or can buy at current levels. That's the word coming in on several of these railway counters. But shifting focus from railway to fertilizers, then we have a query that has come in on Chumble Fertilizers. Ram has written to us from Andhra Pradesh. He is holding about 68 shares of Chumble Fertilizers at an average price of 616 rupees per share. He's sitting with a loss of about 10 to 12% is what he has mentioned. He's asking whether he should continue holding on to the position or exit. He can hold it for 6 to 10 month time frame. So short term, Ajit, what will your view be on Chumble Fertilizer? The stock, I believe, is down 5% over the last 3 months.
So, Ashisha, in fact, Chumble was among the top performer, till the month of, May, the early part of the May, and after making a new record high, it's been drifting gradually lower with every passing day. So currently, we are trading at the long-term averages around 540 mark, and still, despite the overall buoyancy that we are seeing in the broader space and the benchmark indices, is still struggling to show any sign of recovery, which is not a good sign considering that it was among the top performer within the sector. So considering the overall texture plus the decline or the breakdown of the major average, I would recommend him to liquidate at least half of his position at current levels, and for the remaining position, 520 should be his closing stop loss. In case if it sees any bounce toward, let's say, 590, 600 area, which is closer to his buying price, he should exit complete.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Chumble Fertilizers. But with that, it's time for a quick breather. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we get all your questions answered, so stay tuned. Welcome back. You're tuned in to Buy and Sell Now, where we are getting all your stock questions answered. Let's get going then. Kunal, coming to you. This one's by Kaushik Mitra, who's writing from Mumbai. Wants to know about the defense pack. You're discussing defense pack at large right now. Tell us, he wants to know which is a better stock for a fresh entry and at what price between Mascot Docs and Garden Reach. And this is from a 6-month to 1-year perspective.
See, I believe that very difficult to try and just figure out one stock out of the entire pack of defense. There are multiple reasons for that. One, when we look at the beta nature of the stock price, the leadership, so there have been different phases. For example, Mascot Doc emerged to be one of the strongest name in the entire last 6-8 months of price correction for the defense counters or the shipbuilders name. And in the leg of price rally, it was one of the first ones to make a fresh high. So that leadership stance will always remain with Mascot Doc. GRSE is a very high beta stock. It was a huge underperformer. The stock had fallen, I think, 50% or more in this last leg of correction. So you have to understand that if you are looking at GRSE as a better performing stock, the beta of the stock could be very much high. So you should be ready for swings of 15-20% into that stock price. Mascot Doc on the other end is a relatively low beta stock and a much more stronger leader performer. So different risk appetite is what these stocks would probably exhibit. I would suggest better to try and allocate say 50-50 into these stocks, or slightly give more favor towards Mascot Doc because of the way the stock has been leadership, showing leadership in the last 3-6 months as well as the last 1 year. So maybe a 60% allocation towards mascot dog and 40% towards GRSE.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on several of these defense stocks from Kunal. But let's shift focus then and let's talk about banking and financial services sector, because all of these stocks in any case have been buzzing today. We have Rajiv, who has written to us from Mumbai. He says he's a senior citizen holding 2,000 shares of LNT Finance at a price of 150 rupees per share. He says that as the RBI has gone ahead and cut the repo rate by 50 basis point, will it benefit NBFC most? So he's asking whether he should continue holding for the stock for levels of 200 and whether the stock could touch levels of 250. So that's the question that has come in on LNT Finance. Ajit, what will your view be? 191 is where the stock is currently trading. How soon could it cross that 200 mark?
It seems like a very achievable target, means 200 plus zone in the very near future, and that is going to be the new record high for the stock as well. And the way we are seeing participation in LNT Finance, especially in the last two trading session, this indicates that the kind of consolidation the stock was experiencing post retesting its record high for almost like 4-5 months is likely to be over. So, in fact, 250 seems achievable if the view is, let's say, 6 months to a year. So, since he has bought it at lower level, 150, now, since the time horizon, in case if it is lower than that, he should maintain a trailing stop at 170 and continue to hold his position.
So that's LNT Finance on the charts. Coming to you, Kunal, this one Sunny is writing from Goa and he's talking about your favorite stock, that's AB Capital. 1,000 quantities he's bought. His buying price was 158. He wants to know if it's a good time to book profits. He's sitting at a considerable profit now. And if he wants to know when can he repurchase this stock again. He wants to know your view on the exit and the re-entry price for AB Capital.
I mean, it's one of my favorite stocks, which at least in the sense which I track. I would believe that the stock has a lot more potential on the upside. What we've seen in the last 2 or 3 quarters, was an initial phase of a sharp adjustment towards the downside for the stock price, like what mid caps and small caps or large caps they did in the last 2-3 months. And now these stocks have started to show signs of revival. I believe potentially that at least a break past about the 245, 250 mark should be in the offing, for the stock, say in the next 1 to 3 months. So even if you are a medium to long-term investor, I see a further upside into the stock price, for AB Capital. I would suggest the hold, but I think since you're sitting in good profits, you can also look to trail your stop losses and then hold on to higher targets for AB Capital.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Aditya Birla Capital. But let's shift focus and let's talk about Colgate. We have Rakesh Gupta, who has written to us from New Delhi. He says he's a senior citizen. He bought 345 shares of Colgate at an average price of 3,100 rupees per share. The stock is at 2,432. So he's making some amount of losses on this holding. He says, what are the prospectors in the short to medium term? Ajit, what will your view be? Should he continue holding Colgate or should he look to sell out of this position at losses?
Ashisha, we all know that the kind of underperformance that most of the FMCG stocks are experiencing, from almost a year now, and Colgate is no different. We are seeing gradual decline with every passing month. Of late, it made an attempt of recovery, but it couldn't sustain. So now, if the view is short term, probably it might continue to hover in a range. Let's say around 2,200, 2,600 could be the broader range that the stock might, continue to trade in. But let's say view is longer than that, means a year or more than that, probably we can see some base around those area and then probably possible reversal. So as of now, my recommendation would be to stay put with 2,200 as a closing stop loss. And once we cross this 2,600, 2,700 barrier, then probably 3,000, 3,100 is something that the stock might test. So around that area, he should review his position again.
All right, moving on from ColgatePalmolive, coming to you, Kunal. Nishi is writing from Bangalore. Nishi holds 630 shares of BSE at a buying price of 59 rupees. She wants to know what should she do now. Kunal, I want to ask you about this entire capital market theme. Now, we were discussing about how defense as a theme is here to stay. The story is intact for it for the next coming years. You already know that. Is capital markets again a theme that has done has already run up quite a bit. But again, it's a theme that is here to stay, and therefore you would still remain bullish on it.
See, I'll remain bullish on it, so far, but there are a couple of things which could emerge into the stock price trends for many of the capital market related themes. One, of course, for BSE, for the first time, I think in the last 6-7 months of this price rally, the stock at 3,000-ish odd levels is coming into those overbought zones on the indicators. So yes, the prices have run up exceedingly high, but then you're not buying the stock at the lower end of the price curve. There's always going to be a risk that maybe the stock would rally few more percentage points from current levels, but then eventually once the cycle reverses, even if on a short term basis, you would be left stranded at the higher price points for the stock price. So it's better to wait out for that cycle to play out where these stocks go into a correction and then look to buy. And the other is, I think, once we see more clarity in terms of NSE listing, that could also create some bit of volatility for stock prices for BSE. So good prices and good news, they will not come together. Right now the prices are exceptionally high, so I would probably believe in that sense. You just have to wait out for a point when the prices drop down for the stock price, and then you can look to start buying.
Right, but she should right now be, she's bought it at 59 rupees. So what should she do now? Should she be booking her profits?
No, I think if you've bought at 59 rupees, then yes, then there's no
there's a large chunk
concern.
Of profit that she's sitting on. Then.
Exactly. Then there's no concern. Then a trade of 200 points plus minus for stock like BSE should not deter an investor like you.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on BSE, and NSE listing will keep the stock in focus over the next few months. But we need to slip into a short break on that note. We'll answer many more queries on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're still tuned in to Buy Now, Sell Now right here on ET Now, and Nifty near that 25,000 mark and turning out to be a good day for the BFSI sector. Nifty Bank is up a solid 800 points in today's trading session, above that 56,500 mark. But let's get going with all the queries that you've sent, and we have Subrata Mukherjee, who has written to us from Kolkata. He's asking whether it is the right time to buy M&M Finance with a 6-month time frame. Kunal, what will your view be on M&M Finance?
I would be bullish on the stock, especially after today's breakout. In fact, last couple of days back, I had given a buy call on M&M Finance because my expectation was the stock would come back above its 200 DMA. Today, I think the stock has managed to come back above those levels. So I think at current zone, would be bullish on the stock from a medium to long term plane, especially with the fillip the stock has gone, or rather the entire sector has got. I think there should be a decent upside for the stock in the next 1 year.
All right, decent upside for M&M Financial. Moving on to the next counter, Yuvraj is writing from Bangalore, and Kunal, he wants you to answer his question. He wants to know that given today's news flow and considering the technicals, he wants suggestion as to which two NBFCs look good for a positional trade. Now, we all know that, banks, financials are the biggest beneficiaries of the news that has come out. Kunal, he wants to know from the NBFCs, two NBFCs that look good for a positional trade.
See, if you ask me from a mid-cap perspective, I would suggest maybe that LNT Finance or AB Capital could be a few of the names you can look out for. But I think if you go for those traditional names, then I think Bajaj Finance, Finserv, Shriram Finance, Chola Finance, these stocks have been doing exceptionally well on the long-term chart. So maybe these kind of events could probably spur up the momentum for many of these names and help them come out of their major consolidation. So it's a tough choice, to try and pick and choose, because it depends on the risk appetite. These stocks are not available cheap, especially after the news flow which has been priced into these stock prices. They're already up 5-7%. So you're bound to see some bit of a consolidation to these stocks over the next couple of days. But I think that's where you need to pick and choose from.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on several of these financiers. But let's keep it going with that sector. Then we have a query that has come in on HDFC Bank. Shashi Kumar has written to us, and he would like to know HDFC Bank prospects and target for a 6-month time frame. He's holding 100 shares of HDFC Bank. Ajit, what will your view be on this particular counter?
So, it's been almost a month now that we were seeing the banking index and the heavyweights like HDFC sitting on the sidelines while trading closer to its record highs in a very tight range and maintaining of the short-term averages. Today, we have seen a decisive break. So this indicates the kind of, after the multi-year breakout, the stock has been experiencing gradual recovery. So that should continue. And basis that, since we are at the record highs, the upside is open. But considering the kind of consolidation that the stock experienced between this range of 1600 to 1850, 1900 levels, probably 2200, 2300 is something that you should maintain as a target area. So with stop at 1900, one can continue to hold HDFC Bank for 2300 as a positional target.
All right, HDFC Bank in the chat. Coming to you, Kunal. This one's from Richie, who's writing in. He holds Tata Steel at 160 rupees. Wants to know what's the target for the short term. And with by short term, he means a 3-month period. Tata Steel at 160.
See, I think at current levels of 156, if you've bought at levels of 160, I would suggest that you should look to start averaging the stock at current levels, because there is a very strong possibility that the stock may have completed a major near-term bottom or a corrective phase towards identifying a short-term bottom, and we could be looking at the stock coming back towards 163 to 165. So, if you can average at current levels, bring your cost price to say 158 thereabouts, then 165 could be a decent target which you can expect in the short term.
Okay, so that's the view coming in on Tata Steel, but we have a question that has come in on Canara Bank. The viewer has not mentioned his name. He's holding about 500 shares at the price of 98 rupees per share. He's asking whether he should continue holding or should he sell out of this particular position. So Canara Bank at 115. Ajit, what will your view be?
When the banking and the heavyweights were sitting on the sidelines, we were seeing that, especially from the last 2 weeks, the PSU banking counters were, gaining traction. So Canara Bank has also witnessed a strong recovery from 90 to 120 levels in the last, 2-3 weeks. So probably after this positive news is already in, so we may see some consolidation of profit taking. So if the view is very short term, they can look to at least book partial profit around the current area and maintain trading stop loss at 110. In the next swing, probably 128, 130 positionally is something that the stock might retest, means closer to this record highs.
All right, moving on from Canara Bank, Kunal, to you. This is they have not given their name, but this person holds 50 shares of Deepak Fertilizers, which has been bought at 605. How long should they be holding this, and wants to know if the time frame they've given is 6 months. So Deepak Fertilizers, 50 shares at 605 for the next 6 months. How does it look to you on the charts?
See, at 1500 levels, 1550 thereabouts, it's a good price where you can look to start at least trimming some positions over here. The stock would probably get back into a consolidative phase, at least looking at the indicators and the divergence over there. I would not say bearishness, but a slight divergence over there. There could be a case where the stock may drift down, spend some time over here at the 1500ish kind of range, plus minus 50-70 points for Deepak Fertilizer. So good time where you can look to start at least trimming down some positions and booking profits.
Okay, so you should book your profits and trim down your positions. That's the word coming in on Deepak Fertilizers. But Kunal and Ajit, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and answering all our viewers' queries. But that's all the time we have on this edition of the show. Don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will take all the market action forward. Stay tuned.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.